Alright, we're going to try to record my sister's life story here. Today is Thursday, the 22nd of September 2011. And me and my sister, we're going to start an interview here. So, when were you born?
I was born the 9th of April, 1930.
Where?
In Messe, France. In a small village in the same house, in the same bed that my mother was born.
Why was I born in Orleans?
Because we have moved in Orleans.
Or at the time you live in Normandy?
No, we live in Paris.
You live in Paris? So why were you born in Paris?
Because my dad did want my mom to let have me over there. That way my grandma could take care of her, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know, I never asked her those questions.
How long did you live in Messe?
A week or so.
And that was it? You don't remember that time? No,
No, I heard
That's a
about
good thing.
it. I went in vacation many times.
Yeah. Then after that, you went to
We live in Paris, in Agnières.
Agnières.
Agnières in Paris. I don't remember much. I must have been probably 4 or 5 years old. The only thing I remember, it was a building that had a courtyard on the inside. And my parents was not rich, and I remember of that place, it was Christmas. And Santa Claus bring me a huge baby, celluloid baby, which you will call that plastic probably those days. Anyway, it was the size of a full baby. And Mama said she had put cotton all the way around the window because we didn't have any chimney. And she said that was all the beard of Santa.
How long did you keep that baby?
I bring to the United States.
You still got it?
I never play with it. It was on my bed. I was afraid it'd break.
You still got him today?
No.
What do you do with it?
It got destroyed in
destroyed.
the Bukawa.
Oh.
And I used to play in a little thing container of baby, the baby Swiss.
Oh, like
Petit fromage.
like yogurt type, little
Not
bit.
yogurt, but
Yeah.
salad.
Yeah.
And I used to dress and play with potato and put stick on it for the arm and make clothes for them. And I had a little tea set, a little porcelain tea set. And that I brought that in the United States too. And it got destroyed. By...
So, when our mom went to the hospital, were you still in Paris?
No, I told you, he went so she can have...
No, I said when our mom went into the hospital in Paris, mental hospital in Paris, how long was she? She was in, you was in Paris then? She was there for a while?
Yes, we were in Paris, but I don't know.
How old were you?
I don't remember. Probably some young enough that I couldn't remember.
Oh, I thought you remember because...
No, I remember because she told me.
Oh, okay, because she told you.
She had a depression.
Right. And then that's when they give her some shock treatment?
No, they didn't give her shock treatment. They used to dump her in an ice bathtub. Is the way they used to cure that. Ice bathtub.
And Dad was already a printer then?
Yes, that was a typographe.
It was
at Paris Soir.
It was a tab setter.
Paris Soir in Paris.
Paris night in Paris. Well, all that I don't remember, but I heard the story many times.
Yeah.
Then after that, when did you go? What else you do in Paris? You go to school in Paris?
I go to school in Agnières. I barely remember the school. I do, but I'm not 100%. I remember we used to go in vacation in Normandy, or we went to see my grandma in Orleans, because it's where Dad is born, in Orleans. And I remember mainly the tragedy when the war started. My dad had to be back to the place where he was born so he can join the army for the war. So it was in Orleans. So that was in 1939. I was 9 years old. I do remember that.
So that's when you moved to, moved into Orleans.
We moved with Grandma.
And that because our dad's mom live there.
Yes.
Etc.
Okay. So now we're going to start again. Alright, so that was a typesetter. By the way,
You
how
did say that.
many job our dad had? How many trade did he had?
Trade, he was also a
Locksmith,
locksmith, and he was a teacher.
teacher.
He
Yeah,
teach at night school is typesetting.
typesetting school. So what else you did in Paris?
Well, I don't remember much of Paris because we came in Orléans when I was 9 years old.
Okay, so you came right before the war.
Just when they declare the war, when they mobilize all the soldiers, when they recruit all the soldiers to go
Okay.
fight
So
the German.
When you came to Orleans, where did you live?
With my grandma.
With your
We
grandma,
already said that.
mom also.
Yes, mom and my grandma over to my grandma's house.
Okay, and dad was gone in the service then.
Yes.
When did he go? He went out of Paris, or he went back in?
Yes, he was in fighting next the line Imagino.
Maginot Line, but he was
Maginot
not. He
Line.
was not fighting because he was a medic.
No, he was fighting and he got caught prisoner. Yes, he was a medic.
He was
but
a medic, but he was in the war, but he was not a fighter.
He was on the front too. He
I
was on the
understand,
front.
but he was a
too.
medic.
After he got caught, she's saying.
No, before he was a medic. He was in the Red Cross. He worked with the Red Cross.
He helped them anyway. He came back when he got unloaded as prisoner. He came back sooner because he was a medic at the time.
Hmm. I thought he escaped.
No, he didn't escape. His Tonton Jean will escape. He didn't escape. He came
Tonton
back.
Jean,
Don Jean.
our aunt husband.
Yes.
No.
About the story when he
Well, I would say we go back to
March.
it. So
Well, during the war, was with my grandma. She was a very, very strict person. And playing, I never know what playing was. Because first we iron, I had to learn how to knit socks for my dad that was prisoner in Germany. And I had so many rows, I knit socks with 5 needles. And I had to get so many rows every day after my homework was done. And so many rows of this, so I was shaking. I will pull on what I was sewing to make it longer. But boy, she was smart. She will go 1, 2, 3, 4. She count every row. You still have 2 more rows to do. Well, by the time that was all done, playing was not, it was out of the question. It was dark. And also during the war, we had ration, and the ration was not very much. We had maybe half a cup of milk every day, and a piece of bread about that long, of a baguette about that long every day. And me, I ate mine at night because I want to save mine to have all on one time. And Mom, during the war, was taking your bicycle and go about 10 miles, may not be 10, maybe 8 miles, to buy some potatoes at the black market. And she will boil the potato. In one hand we will have a boiled potato. On the other hand it was a boiled potato that she had cut in pieces to make a salad, and she will get cornstarch and vinegar to make a sauce, salt and pepper, and dump that over the boiled potato. So you were eating potato for bread and potato on the other side. We had meat once a week. We had fish once a week. That was it. I never see chocolate during the war because we had to send the chocolate in Germany. And my grandma was strict. I had to work. In the morning, it was to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning because she was selling vegetable on her cart to rich people. So she will go to their house, so they will buy from her cart everything they need. She even cooked for them, the beans and stuff like that. So anyway, she wanted to be first in line in the morning to get the freshest one from the people who sell in those big, like a farmer's market, but huge farmer's market. So I had to go on the line for the mushroom, 4 o'clock in the morning. Do on the line, winter or summer. It was cold and windy into that farmer's market.
So,
and by the time we come home, she say, did you wash your face? Well, like all the kid, I will wash my nose, just a little bit here. You could broke the ice in the bucket because we did not have central air. She will say, I don't think you washed behind your ear. Let's do it over. I remember that. She's the one who taught me to be tough. That lady was shorter than I am. She was not any bigger than I am right now. And that lady was working. She do her brass every weekend, shine all the brass every weekend. She worked hard all her life. She raised her two sons, each one 2 jobs, because the father died after a little bit. The father died 2 months before I was born. My grandpa died 2 months before I was born. And he was a person who likes to drink. But he was also during the war, the First World War, he was the director of a newspaper in Orléans.
The story I heard about him having a barrel of wine in his office, true?
Yes, it's true.
A whole wooden barrel.
The grandchildren don't need to know.
They need to know that as their history. That's
I don't
fine.
think it's a good history, really.
It's okay. There's any history is good and bad.
Well, you like to bring the bad. You love that.
What about our mom and grandma? They were already in '39. They were already pushing the cart in town to sell the vegetable.
Yes.
Or they were already in that. What about your dog? Your dog was in the picture already.
Pulu, yes,
Pulu?
he was hooked up. He was hooked up underneath the cart to push the cart.
Now Musca only came later, right?
Musta came later, yes.
Pulu is the one that didn't like the German, right?
He didn't like the German.
But that was after.
But it's when he didn't like the German and he practically hit the German when I fell down. Well,
But that was after.
Before all that, during the time my dad was prisoner in Germany, because right away the French army didn't last very long, they got prisoner because they are overwhelmed on the Maginot Line. They went around the Maginot Line and get them prisoner. We went in Exodus. We left town. My aunt was pushing my cousin in her little buggy, and we had a cart, like a bicycle cart, and we were pushing everything, and the dog was along with us. It was so hot because it was in August. The tar on the street on the road was melting. So my grandma took out the pocket of all our clothes and she made shoes for the dog so he wouldn't burn his feet. Anyway, we were walking on the road. Feet, not in bicycle or anything. And they had the Italian Mussolini army was with the German, and they were coming down with their pen and use the machine gun, right? Mama grabbed me and she threw me on the ditch, those ditches they got along the road, you know.
Fossé?
Un fossé, oui. And she threw me in cowshed right smack in the fossé. And I see so many people dead on the road that get killed like that. And Mama said we have to stop at the next to Orléans, the direction we want to go south. There is lots of forest around Orléans. And Mama said we have to stop at the next big outfit, you know, a big, not a town, but a castle or whatever you call them, estate house, and get some water at the well. Well, we went down to get water at the well, and here people was dead down the well. I see some horrible thing, really horrible thing. And well, it came a time where the German caught up with us. So that we had to turn around and back up and come back home. Well, there is one thing I see that will stay in my memory the rest of my life, which is not too long now. It was, the German was trying to catch on every farmhouse or whatever was along the way, all the French soldiers they could catch, you know, to keep them prisoner. And they had we had black people that was from the colony, from the French colony. And I never forgot that Gestapo guy, he was like on a jeep, standing up on the back of a jeep, and those soldiers was walking along the road by field of maybe 3 wide, you know, in a long field. And by the end of one, 2 French soldiers was holding that French black soldier in the each arm. And the Gestapo called out with a card and he said, line him against the tree over there, because they line a tree along the road. And so the French soldiers had nothing choice to do but to listen. So they line him up against the tree, and Gestapo, he took his puff and he shot him right smack on the head. He fell down, and I never forgot, he spit on his face. And out he went, and some more. And as that was on our way back from the Exodus to town. Every rich people had those big moving things. You know, us, we had a car, but they are moving things. And they were moving some big portrait of a young lady, you know. But not the frame, just the portrait. And it was hung on a tree, but from far away at dusk, I couldn't see it did look like a young lady who was all dressed up in veil, white was dressed on the tree, and that did shook me up so much. And we stopped the next step, we stopped on a farm to sleep. And the German came, and with their mitrailleurs, they were looking if they did not have any soldier. But the next day we were back to our town, and when we came home, half of my grandma's house was destroyed by the bomb. So we had to leave in. You remember, you've seen those pictures. And I went on a 24-hour delirium. I was wacko.
After you fell in the well.
No, that was different. I didn't fall in a well.
I mean, not in the well, but in the cave.
I went on a delirium. And there is nothing they can do. It came back by itself, but it makes such an impression on me. The doctor said there is nothing you can do, just let it go. Let it rest. And we still was, my dad was not back. But that was during the occupation. In the whole way in France, they had, the whole way in the house was separated in 2 big long pieces of wood. One side you walk on both sides. But if you did want to go in the basement, which a cave they call that, you had to lift up the other one side and hooked up against the wall. And it was stone step, a really stone step. The last one, it was missing a piece like that. My grandma asked me to go get some green beans and stuff she did want in the garage where to make for her ritzy friend, for her ritzy costume. And you know, when you are 9.5 years old, you know, you dance, you jump, and I was having that underneath my arm, and bingo. I was dancing, I missed my step, and up I went head first down on the bottom of all the, I think 12 or 14 steps, something like that. And I had long hair, and that brush, that crack on the step caught on my hair, but it saved me, because otherwise I would have been dead, because the next step, but that pulled my hair and it cut me from ear to ear in my head. So they take me to the hospital, and the doctor said, so they stitched me, and they said take her home because they had too many people at the hospital. They did not have any room. So they bring me home. So on the front room, which was a bedroom too of my grandma, they had a big bed, so is where I was sleeping with my mom. And the window was way low. So it was raining And the soldier was already, the German soldier on the cobblestone, you know, you could hear their boots clacking on the cobblestone. And it was raining like crazy, it was summertime, so the window was open. And they had an awning over the window. So a German soldier, in good French, stopped by and he peeked at the window. And Mama was next to me, not laying down, but next to me in the bedroom. And he said, "Who's that?" And she told him in French because he could speak French fluently. It was my daughter, she fell down, and I couldn't see. I was blind. I was blind with both eyes. I couldn't see a thing. Even so, through the bandage, I couldn't see. And well, he said, "It's normal." He said, "It's a blood clot that went through the optic channel," or whatever he said. He said, "Can I pass over the threshold of the door, the window?" Mama said, "Yes, what can you say? You don't know if they're going to shoot you or not." So he said, "Okay." He said, "Give her aspirin. Just aspirin, nothing else." And he said, "I'll be back in 48 hours." But he said, in 48 hours, if the aspirin does good, she will have her sight back. And he came back in 48 hours, and he removed the bandage himself. And I could see fuzziness, you know. He said, "That's okay, that will come back." He was a doctor. He had made his study at the Sorbonne in Paris. And he got called when the war started in Germany. He got called, he had to go back. And after that, well, I was okay. I went to school, in La Charpenterie. And we used to go get because everything got tore up, you know. We didn't have no gas, we didn't have barely no electricity yet. And we used to get the water at the river, and we had to boil the water because all the water got damaged with the bomb. Anyway, a little after that, my dad came back. He was, before the American army, they leave, he was back. After, he was about 3 years and a half. He came back, and when the American army come, and go to school and all that time, he got to work on Orléans at the place where they teach him his job. The same place where he learned his job, offer him a job. So we stayed in Orléans. So we moved on an apartment. And
that's when we moved to Rue de la Courvoirie.
Rue de la Courvoirie, yes. That was before you were born. And
Didn't somebody save his life when he went to the camps?
oh yes, when he went to the camp, or what happened in the camp, my dad was a passive person. And he had two friends. One friend that was a priest, and one friend was selling clothes in Paris. And he will hold the barbed wire on the prisoner camp as slow as he could. And soon the sentinel, what do you call a sentinel?
The guard.
Soon the guard will pass by, he will unroll what he did roll. Because he didn't want to work for them. When one passed by, he would do the same system, roll and unroll. And it was on the, they used to take them in, I mean, it's what he explained to us. They used to go and get them also some morning to work on the farm. Because lots of soldiers had been killed, German soldiers, you know, and they had only women in the farm. They didn't need some help, so they will truck them to farm. So all three friends will go at the same farm. But my dad didn't know anymore. A chicken and then a cow. He was scared of all of them because he was a city guy, you know. So that old lady said, okay, he can stay in the house and do all the repair in the house, like, you know, if you need to put a board this or there.
Handyman.
And the two other one will go work on the farm, which they were not used to, but they really had. And he said he was living in a German farm every day, you know, they wouldn't stay for supper, but she would make them the best nice meal she could with what she's got. She was nice to them. Her 4 sons got killed in the front of Russia. And she had a daughter who was an infirm.
What Denise was referring to is one, and like I say, I heard the story, you probably know it better than I do, is one they got captured at the German border by the German army, and they got to walk. They had to walk back in Buchenwald. And when it was Buchenwald. Well, whatever. You don't have to whisper. It was. But anyway, there's a story I heard. You have this different story. Always, Dad always say, Mom, I got letter with Mom says,
the friend of there were the Bougainville.
okay. Anyway,
yes, it's true.
then the guy carried Dad on his shoulder in his backpack because Dad fell down and they were killing everybody that came down. That's
But
what you talk about.
Okay. That's true. But if you start detail, you know, there is so many damn detail. Anyway, yes, it's true. It's thanks to his friend that he didn't
René
get killed.
Tronche?
Yes, René Tronche and the priest, I forgot his name.
Yeah, I got his name too.
It's thanks to them too that my dad survived.
But the way I heard the story is that they were walking him back toward Germany, whatever concentration camp they were, and if a soldier fell down, they just killed him on the spot. And Dad fell down because they carried a backpack. So René Tronche picked up his backpack and helped him back up, and they started walking. When they went on the road a few miles later, Dad fell down again. So not only René Tronche and the priest carry his backpack, but they also carry Dad the rest of the way.
Oh yes. Yes, they saved his life because he would have been killed, is a fact. They saved his life more than one time in that sense. Because my dad was more weaker than they were. But anyway, when he came back, so my dad never complained about the German people. Because he said the German people never won the war. It's a big, crazy SS
The
who
Nazi,
did won the war.
the Nazi,
The
won the
Nazi.
war.
Because he said the poor people, like that poor lady they were working for, look at her, she lost all of what she had. Anyway, so Dad came back, and not too far after that, well, I finished my first year of École Supérieure, which I don't know what it means in IT. I think it's 2 years, École Supérieure is 2 years of high school. I don't know for sure. Anyway, here come the American. So at night we wouldn't stay in town because they had destroyed the bridge. They had destroyed the bridge, so my parents will come and sleep in that farmhouse on the other side of the river. And the fact it was during the summertime, so I will help those people on that little farmhouse. I forgot their name, it was so far away. And I will stay during the day and my parents will come back at night. But they bombed the bridge until they made a wood bridge, a floating wood bridge. They couldn't come. So the Germans, I was on the side of the German, but they were behind our back. And on the other side of the river was the American, the Canadian, and whatever it is, that came liberate. And here it is. You could hear when they send the cannon, I could hear, shh, pass next to you. Oh, I don't know how many fragments I picked up out of their courtyard at that farmhouse.
They destroyed the whole town, practically.
Oh, yes. So what the German didn't destroy, but
The American did.
they destroyed the bridge.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Oh,
we're going to stop tonight and then we pick it up later.
It's enough.
See how it works out.
It's enough.
Alright, we're going to start again where we left off last Friday or Thursday? Last Thursday. Today is 9/28, and my sister come up with some additional stuff she forgot on the first video. So go ahead, you're up.
Well, what we had in France, we call the maquisard, is the underground French underground. And I remember what because those guys, they shoot what do you call when there is a bunch of trucks? A convoy.
Convoy?
Convoy of German So the Gestapo make a, they avenged themselves. They took about 6 to 8 young boy out of college. They put them in front of the courthouse and they shut them down.
In front of you?
Yeah, I was not too far. I was about maybe like here to the corner.
Mm.
That is.
But you was younger than you was. Not, they took college kid.
They took college kids. Not me, boy college kid.
Boy college kid.
And they take them. They took them.
In front of your parents, in front of everybody.
No, the parents was not even there. They just take them out of school.
Take them out of school.
That was to pay back for what.
To pay back for what the underground did.
And also, I see, like during the road when it was in Exodus, and the Italian mitrailleuse from the plane.
Machine gun.
Machine gun from the plane was killing. I see people who had stopped on the side of the road to eat lunch, and they were dead right here. And on one example, they were dead. They were all black by death, and they had been sitting here a long time. And they had a dog. The dog was sitting, it was their dog, and nobody could come. Some people tried to bury them in a place. The dog wouldn't let them, so somebody had to shot the dog in order to get.
They shot the dog.
Yeah, they shot the dog because he wanted to stay. It was his.
Right, it was his master.
His
master, yeah.
So, but that was on the Exodus. Anyway. So after that, I remember one thing that's gonna be funny to everybody. We had shoes, but they were shot in leather. So they had wooden sole. They were making wooden sole, but they was cutting in strip, so it can articulate when you walk. It was some kind of ankle boots, and it's all what we could buy. That was a different thing, but they were pretty good in my. And after I started the school, à l'école supérieure, I had 1 year, but when we come back from Exodus, the school was bombed, so I couldn't finish the school. It's all what it is too. I took night school later on. And I started working at the age of 14 in a tea party, in a tea pastry shop, in order to help and clean at the same time. And here come, when I was 15 and a half, a big point in my life. My mother got pregnant, and we had a baby coming. And I said to my mom, which is the nicest person in the world that you can know, and I probably broke her heart when I said that to her, I'm not going to have a baby. I don't want, because I thought the people were going to make fun of me, thinking it was my kid, and my parents was covering for me. So I prepared a suitcase, and I'm going to leave. So when I come from work, I was ready to go with my suitcase. But I see that baby brother, he was just cute as he can be, with little curly hair on his head. So I decided I'm going to stay. And I stayed.
So I put the screw to you when I was just born, huh?
Yeah.
So I've been on your side of it for the last 65 years, huh?
Yes, I guess so, but you have been a good Tom. And I used to, my mom was working with my grandma early in the morning, and I was working later at that pastry shop, so I will have to dress him and change him and feed him and bring him to the neighbor next door. So they will babysit until my mom comes back. But that went on for years, until he went to school. Same story.
Well, let's go back in chronology. So when did you finish school? Or you didn't finish school?
No, I was about 13 and a half when that got destroyed.
So after the war,
oui.
After the liberation,
yes,
you didn't go back to school?
I went back to night school.
You went to night school?
I went to night school in order to
get a little bit When did you draw that picture that was in the bathroom that was a toy on my side for many years? When did you draw that?
When I was a young kid. 13 years old, 12, 13.
Okay, that was on our parents' bathroom wall. And every time I went to the bathroom, I had to look at that picture. And my mom would say, see, your sister did that. Why can't you do like her? But anyway, so you were 13. So you already knew how to draw back then pretty well.
I used to draw in pencil.
Yeah, it was very good. And then, so you went to work right after the war then?
Right after the liberation, I went to work. And like I said, I work on that tea shop, sell pastry, and I start a sport.
So,
I start the basketball,
yeah.
and I start running on the stadium, which
Well,
the
you're on,
200, the 100, the 8 dash yard.
so you're on the track and field
Yes.
with OCO, Olympic Club d'Orléans.
Yeah, on a club.
And
we win in basketball. We didn't win. We were the second team in France in basketball.
okay, you went to the French championship,
Yes, the French championship.
but you lost on the
We
championship.
lost on the final for 1 point.
Yeah, and then
And the next day, a week after, we play them on their own ground and we win them.
yeah,
So we could have win, but.
but okay.
And I played the relay, the disc, the javelin.
Well, that was you ran in track and field.
Yes, and the disc, throw the disc.
Oh,
and
you
the
throw the
javelin.
discus too?
Yes, and javelin. But
And the javelin.
I was not good at that.
I wouldn't
But-
think so because you're not big enough, but
But I
guess-
did.
All
I
right.
did.
Okay, and then you got medal for all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I got medal. I got medal for the running and for the basketball.
But what? When I was just a baby, before you went to work, then you to take me to get at the market.
Yeah.
And then what happened then when you was with me? I heard the story from Mom many times. When you was holding me waiting in line for butter or bread or something, and people will accuse you that was your little girl,
Yes.
and you would get mad and upset and said, "It's not my sister, it's not my daughter, it's my brother." Because before people have to understand, back in those days, boy wore skirt and I had long blonde hair, so I looked like a girl. Huh?
Yes. When you were younger, you looked like a girl. Oh, it's not that you had dress, it was those clothes we used to wear.
Yeah, the blouse. We call them blouse.
We call them blouse right here. Like the doctor gets, stuff
Yeah.
like that, but except it
It's
button on the
smart,
back.
it's
It's
smart,
smart.
yeah.
Yes.
And even going to school, we wore that until
Oh, yes.
you didn't get in
Until
short,
college.
short, and you didn't wear until you first got your first communion. Then you get to wear long pants.
Oh, after that is when I start play basketball.
Yeah,
Because I got my first communion when I was 11.
yeah. But I mean, I got mine when I was 12, and that's the only time that my first pair of long pants was for my first communion.
Yeah, it was not the fashion for girl to wear pants.
Are you my godmother?
No,
No.
no. I'm
Who's
not.
my godmother?
I don't remember. I think it
I know Raymond Hubert is my godfather. I think.
I don't know. I don't remember.
No, Raymond Hubert, Raymond Boré. Robert Boré is my
I don't remember.
Okay.
I have to be honest about that. I
So
don't-
when did you say first you work on a clothing store, right?
No, I work on the tea shop, and after I work on a clothing store.
The tea shop, the tea shop. That's what they sell dessert.
Yes, but they
Dennis?
take pastry and stuff
Dennis.
Dennis.
Was it name Denny?
Yeah.
Denny.
The boss was Denny.
Denny. Yeah.
Denny. And that's not the last one.
Oh.
That was Rue des Carmes.
Oh, I would not
Rue des
remember. I don't
Carmes.
remember
No,
that
you
one.
don't remember. You were too small.
Okay.
And after that, I work at the clothing store. When they start rebuild all that section of town that was destroyed with the bomb, I work on that clothing store where they had a new store. It was Jewish people. But I worked many years with them. And after that, the boss of the first pastry tea shop, he opened a new tea shop in a good part of town they used to call the Mont Blanc. And boy, did they had good pastry and good chocolate and stuff like that. And he made me manager. Well, I worked at least that for 6 years, maybe 5 years. And I was having only the Monday off because You have to stay open on Sunday and Saturdays, big days. I had Monday off. And somebody told me, why don't you go work for the American Army? I'm going to try to get you a job. Well, somebody got me a job from the American Army in Maison Fort. I work for IBM, the IBM file. And that's it, is where I met my ex-husband. But first back, you forgot to put that I went to judo. I did judo.
I didn't forget.
No.
You don't want to forget.
Yeah, I forgot, I marked it down. I ended up with a black belt, the first grade only of black belt. And is where I went to the pastry shop and I went to
What about the violin?
Oh yes, when I was at the pastry shop, I learned the violin. A friend gave me a violin.
And at the pastry shop, that's where I used to go after school.
Yes.
Because I knew I could get, you will give me some pastry.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah,
A couple of times you had to help me out because I got some accident on the way to school. So you had to help me out. But and that also where you met your, I don't know if it was your first boyfriend, but one of your boyfriends worked there, right? Well, I mean,
Yes.
worked next door.
Upstairs.
Upstairs.
Above the pastry
He was a
shop.
dentist, right?
Yes.
And he was a noble.
Yeah.
Monsieur Barré de Nazaris.
Barré de Nazaris. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Jacques.
Jacques Barré de Nazaris.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Oh, I
How
don't
come
know.
you didn't go out with him?
He's the one who gave me the violin. I went out with him, but one day he decided to go in Brazil. They were doing a concert because he was excellent in violin and piano. And he forgot to tell me he was taking another girl up there.
Hmm.
So I said, that's it, it's the end of it. And when he come back, he told me it was his cousin, and I didn't believe it, so that was the end of it. But he didn't want me back, and I didn't want to, it's it. So I was working for the American Army in that time, and he's when I met Jack Miller,
Hmm.
and finally we got married.
What about the...
Why you go back?
Because you didn't tell all the stories that are available.
What story?
What about when you ran a contest for Charlotte Temple?
Oh, that you are talking, we were living in Paris.
Okay,
I
but
was
you didn't talk
probably
about that.
3 or 4 years old. And my aunt, my mother's sister, the sister of my mother, I had blonde, curly hair. And I had a round face like Shirley Temple. And they had a contest in Paris. Who looks most like Shirley Temple? So, my aunt decided, she made my hair look even better. I got dressed a little bit like Shirley Temple. She bought the clothes. And I probably could have won the contest. I went
Well, I thought
almost
you
to
won.
the No. I went to the final.
Oh, you wanted to
Or if I win the contest, I'd probably be a movie star
No,
now.
no, but I thought you won the contest, but
No.
Dad didn't want you to go.
No. We were close to the semi-final. And for some reason, my dad heard about that. Oh, boy, that was the end of it. He said, they won't have, because to him, all the movie star was all. So, no, it's not going to be that way. Hey, maybe I missed my tip. Maybe I would have been in Hollywood, I don't know.
Yeah?
Maybe not. I doubt it. And it's it.
What about the...
Oh, that you go back. When
Well, I know, but you have to tell all the stories.
Yeah, but
you're messing. But what about the
forgot.
time? We're still in France here. What about the time that our dad told you had to be back by 11 o'clock or whatever it was, and you didn't come back in time?
Yeah,
What happened?
my dad was very strict. To every game that I play in town, basketball, he was there. He will let me free. He will take another street. He will go. He will let me go with my friend. And one day the club, they had a ball every year, dancing. And I want to go. My dad didn't want to go. My mom didn't want to go. But the owner of that club, he said, I vouch, he can watch over me, is what he said to my dad, because they were working together. And my dad said, you better be home at 12 o'clock, not a minute past 12 o'clock. Oh yes, I figure by that time, you know, we were having fun. By that time, well, I was, 18 by that time. We were having great fun, so I came home 15 minutes late. My dad was sit at the kitchen table, and he pointed his finger at the clock. He said, "It's past midnight. Tomorrow, no basketball game," which was important to me. "You come fishing with us." And the friend who was going fishing and my mom, everybody, you know, implored to him that they have to let me go play basketball. He didn't give up. I went fishing. That's it.
Yeah.
When he said something, he meant it. It was it.
What about how many boyfriends did you have? Because I remember many more boyfriends than that. So tell us about the boyfriend you had. Who was the first one?
I don't remember.
You had too many?
No, it was a guy. He was a senior on the basketball team.
Oh.
André Dalgalaron.
Oh, I never, I never heard about that one.
That didn't last but a little bit. We were more or less friends, you know,
Uh-huh.
for that boyfriend, but more or less friends. And Jacques Boyer didn't want to marry us.
Jack Boy, yeah, that was the one he was a machinist.
He was
Yeah,
a machinist, and
He had a machine
no,
shop.
they were not poor.
He had a machine shop. He wanted
Yeah,
me
the
to work.
machine shop.
Actually, later on down the road, he offered me a job.
But you didn't want
I
to.
didn't want it. But, okay. And then Lavarenne,
Oh, he had a...
what's his first name? Jean?
Oh, well, I don't remember Lavarenne. It was not René. Anyway, that doesn't make any difference to that. He was selling, they had a creamery. And they were selling cheese and all that stuff like that. He's the one who taught me how to drive.
Mm.
Was going in Paris to buy stock, and he taught me how to drive. And
Was
I
it the
learned
one
to
with the
drive.
dogs, the mean
Yes,
dogs?
the German Shepherd. The German Shepherd. And he will give to his dog, he said, "Give him a sugar." So I give him a sugar. And the dog never take it because his master was here. He was not supposed to take anything from a stranger. And he wouldn't take a thing.
I remember you took me to his house one day.
Yes.
And we had dinner. The dog was there. I pet the dog and everything, and then I went to go outside and play. And boy, I didn't walk out of the house until he said it was okay for me to leave.
Yeah, because the dog wouldn't let you. He
you
will
out.
let you come in,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't let you come out.
He had two of them, right?
He had two, but one was not that bad, but he was obedient. I never see a dog obey so much.
What about René Tonesi?
Oh, he was just a friend.
Was just a friend?
He was
Pretty
just a
good, pretty good friend from I can remember.
No, he was
No?
a prothesist. He's the one who made my
I know.
mom and dad
Right.
dentures. He was a prothesist.
What about the Texan?
Texan?
The one that we always, that they bet, you know, that was from Texas. He had a farm. It was a GI that you met before Jack
Oh,
Miller.
but we were friends at work. We were
Oh,
friends.
it was more than friend.
No, we were just...
I remember we spent hours flipping coin to see if he loved me or loved me not.
Oh, jeez, that was kid stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jack.
What was his name? What was his name?
I don't remember. It was not important to me, so it was just a friend and I don't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are making stuff, really.
I know,
Where there is
I'm not
nothing.
making it up.
Yes, you're making stuff where there is nothing.
Well, I didn't say he actually went out with him.
Pass on, please.
You were down with it. Let's see, who
It
else?
was
Who else?
just a friend.
Oh yeah, who else you had? How many other? Well, it's okay. It's your life. It's okay.
I'm not going to say all my friends.
All your boyfriend.
No. Oh, boy, I didn't have that many, believe me so.
Oh.
I had lots of friends, but not very many boyfriends.
Okay. So.
Is it my story or your story? I want
Well, that's
to know.
your story.
Okay, you don't have to tell me about my
But
story.
you forget the stuff.
No, I
you
don't
forget a bunch of
forget.
stuff you say.
No, I don't forget. It's just you made a story of what was friend, you make them boyfriend. But that's not right, Jack.
Well, I remember being at the house, and I never mind.
You were a young kid, how can you remember that much? When you tell me all the time, I don't remember nothing.
Well,
I don't have nothing else to say.
they have nothing else to say, huh?
No.
So what else happened in France?
That's it.
So, what about...
That I remember.
What about, didn't you belong to a camping club?
Oh yes, when I was, no, it was not a camping club. When I was 20, I went in the island of Corfu for a month and a half with the Mediterranean Club, the Club Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
In the island of Corfu, and we went to Athens, we see Greece, Mykonos, Delos, all those islands. I had a good time. It's when I learned how to water ski. But I take certainly more bump on the water that my feet stay on the ski. A beautiful place. It's gorgeous. You can get up on a little hill and you can see down in the bottom of the sea. It's clear and blue. It's pretty. Listen, I'm tired. Can we stop a bit?
Hmm?
I'm tired. Can we stop a bit?
Okay, we're back on now. We're still in France.
Oh, we make me go back before I was born.
No, well, we're not. I needed you to tell the story that you heard, because your story and my story sometimes don't agree.
No, don't
So
agree.
tell your story about how we
Okay.
got the name Pin.
Well, it belonged to, wait a minute, I have to count. You shouldn't turn that on right now. I have to count Grandpapa, his father. Yes, it was our great-great-aunt. No, his father's father. So our great-great-grandfather, yes, great-great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, just one great.
No, great-great. He was great-great. His second.
Okay, fine.
He was our great-grandfather. He was the Count di Pini. He was living in Italy. Piedmont is in Italy. And when they had the war in Piedmont, he decided to sell his title from Di Pini, it became Pin. And he moved to France in the Lac d'Annecy, Annecy, and he opened a restaurant. Now is what I heard. And he had 2 sons and 1 daughter. And when he died, or before he died, the daughter wanted to be a nun. So she déshénérite completely and take all the fortune that they had. That way she become the superior, the mother superior of a convent in Italy. So they were popular after that. So one of the Pin brothers, I guess I heard vaguely, but somehow he got lost. He went somewhere in Algeria or in Tunisia or something. And we never heard of that part of the family, that him we don't know at all, nothing. And I guess my grandpa was born to that. And well, he had an infirmity in LA and he was drinking enough lilat, but he was very smart, very, very smart. And during the World War I, they put him the director-in-chief of a newspaper, which you got the newspaper. When my dad is born, he still was running the paper at that time. He was the chief director of that paper. He was ruling the paper. And and even it's funny how when they know everything, those people in the church. When my grandma passed away, my grandma, my grandma converted herself to be Protestant. But when she died, the priest, that Curé Juranville, I remember his name, he got a telegram from the head nurse in Italy of her condolence. See, they know everything. I don't know why they do, but they know everything, those people. It's like the Jesuits, you know. And
Okay, still, okay, so their name was Dipini.
Dipini.
And they sold the DI because it was a noble title, they sold that.
Yes, I just
Well,
told you
I know that, but what about the Pini? How did it come from Pini, how did it become Pin?
He just changed it. He sold his title and all his
Possession?
estate and
Okay,
everything.
okay.
And automatically Dipini going in France sound to Italian, so I guess, I do not know. He sold the D, he sold the noble, so
Yeah.
he take off his D
DI,
first.
the DI, yeah.
And to make more French, to sound more French, I guess they
took
dropped
the
the
I
I
on the end. Okay, make a
It's
Pin.
all what I know, but I'm not sure of that.
Okay.
Is that property that the war, was that disputed land between Italy and France? Is that the war?
I don't know, the Piedmont
The
was in
Piedmont.
war, but I don't know what the reason was.
Yeah, but the Piedmont is like
It's a part of Italy.
Alsace-Lorraine. It's just every time they had a war between France and Italy, it's just.
That I do not know.
Okay.
But I know it's northern Italy, the Piedmont.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so our great aunt was a head nun in a monastery
In a
in
Cochilleuse,
a,
she was
in
a
a
mother
convent,
superior.
in a convent mother superior, and that's how they changed the name. And of course, on this one, I always heard that our parents was excellent dancer,
I never heard of that.
but you didn't hear. So anyway, but
But
I
you-
thought so. But you was a good dancer, and you won some contest.
Yes, I did, but when you were on the subject of our grandparents, might just well say, my grandpa married my grandma, and she was raised in a convent.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was the one who was abandoned, and she was a bastard from noble. And they say, if at the age of 20, she had the choice, if she stayed in the church as a nun, she will know who her father is, because her mother died when she was born. But she didn't want to stay, so she never knew what she was. So she was. Well, her cousin somewhere, somehow her cousin took her in, and I don't know if she take their name or what, but her name was Rousseau.
That was our grandma.
It was our grandma. She
No.
married
How
our
did they
grandma.
know she was noble?
Because when she got deposited at the church, she was all dressed up, and you know those
In silk.
and she had the coat of arms on it, with the money to take care of her until the age of 20, and to reveal her name only if she stay as a nun.
Cloistered? Inside the
Question
walls?
on, you know,
Can't leave.
they none that can never
Inside,
get out.
they don't.
They never can get out. You know, there is none that what they call a cloister nun, the nun that can never get out.
Oh yes, on the cloitre where she was.
Yeah.
So she never know who her father was. Her mother was dead, but she never knew who her father was.
Well, anyway,
Because she didn't want to stay in the church.
you skip over your dancing part. What a real
Well,
fast. So
now
tell us
you-
about that.
Now you are going back.
I'm just telling you a different story that I heard.
Well, I win a contest dancing twice, by the fact.
Twice.
One in Orléans and one on the road by Chambord.
What dance? What type of
Just regular dancing that you dance in
Waltz?
ballroom. Yes. all
ballroom
that stuff.
dancing?
Yes.
How did you learn?
I don't know. I just went and danced, I guess.
Well, you did, huh?
I never take any dancing lesson.
I did. They kicked me out.
But I follow my boyfriend, and I guess he's the one.
Which one was that?
Jacques. Paris Nazar.
Jacques Barenazari. He was a good dancer, huh?
Yes.
Another Jack?
You know the Jack. But he was a good dancer, that one. So we talk about the underground. Okay. So what else did you do when you was in France that we didn't talk about?
Now.
We didn't talk about our great grandpa that used to.
But before we talk about the Pin side, now we're going to talk about the Mézières side.
Right.
And the Mézières side go back at our great-grandpa. Our great-grandpa he will go all around France. He was a handyman, he will do anything. And when he come back home, once a year, automatically will get his wife pregnant. And the oldest one was my grandpa. He was the oldest one of 16. But some died. But he still was the oldest one of 16. And when the great-grandpa passed away, he was already of age, he was married, and he took his mother. His mother lived with them until her few last days. And he raised the four youngest one of his brother. He raised them. And they went to war and two got killed in the war. I think on the fourth, two got killed, if I remember very well. So he was married to my grandma now. His name was Albert Mézières. You know, I will have to check on the thing to know the name of my grandpa. I don't remember. We used to call her grandma all the time. Anyway, my grandpa died. Or before he died, automatically, he had two sons, 3 daughters, and another boy. The oldest one was Tonton Alphonse. The first one was Memerefinal. Memerefinal, which her name was Angeline. After it was Tonton Alphonse. After it was my mother, Emilienne. After that it was Tante Jeanne, Tonton Louis, and little Paul. But little Paul died when he was very, very little baby. So 2 of his sons, he taught them because he was a roofer. He was roofing anything, even the church. They used slate in those days. And he taught them all how to cover roof. His 2 sons was doing his footstep. My brother said that my young uncle, Louis, was doing the thatching of the old house. That I didn't know.
He was the last thatcher in Normandy that could do thatch.
That I didn't know that.
But all our cousin, Maurice, Michel, all them guys, Albert, they were all roofers at one time.
I remember playing with them when I was young, that I would go in vacation.
I remember when I was like 12 years old, and we had to go. It was some first communion celebration, and the next day I had to go with Maurice and Michel, bring slate on top of the roof.
Oh, yes.
So that was our side, and we had a lot of cousins. We got a slew of cousins in Normandy.
And our grandpa in Tonton Louis was we call that in France, a garde chambrette. Which
like a marshal type. He worked for the city. They
he
worked for the city.
Beside his job of roofer, he was for the city. And it's about it.
Le garde chambrette was sick. Now, Tonton Louis was Mom's favorite, I think.
Yes.
And Tonton Louis was married to Aunt Margot.
Yes.
And basically, since he was the youngest one, he took care of his mom and dad. He basically sacrificed his life and took care of his mom and dad.
Yes.
He never had any kid, and took care of his mom and dad and the whole house.
Yeah.
Now you remember?
He was having a little house
next to mom and dad, and the grandma and grandpa. You remember staying at grandma and grandpa's house in Normandy?
We told that last time. I remember staying, and I was born in that same room that my mom was born, but we already
How was the heating condition out there?
You don't have any heat. You have the chimney to keep you warm.
So what did you do to go when you went to bed upstairs? When you had icicle on the windshield and it was like about 30 below zero?
We take a brick.
You take a brick
in a blanket and you put it in the bed.
You wrap it up in newspaper?
No, in a blanket. And then wrap it in newspaper.
And then you go out there and you had one of those big duvet?
Yes, but when I sleep over the Tonton Louis, the mattress was duvet. And you sunk it in, you couldn't turn. You smothered it. It was warm because that keep you warm. But sometimes it was not that good either.
All right, so then now, let me see. We got more story
Birth date.
about about your birthday. How come you got two birthdays?
Well, I don't have two birthdays. What's happened? I was born, my dad was in Paris working. I was born in Normandy, like I said. And my grandpa, it was born way late during the day, maybe midnight or something. And my grandpa, the next day, went and put me on the register. But the register, it was the 29. I was born the 28, but he didn't think of putting the 28. He put the 29 because it's the day he was going to put me on the book. So
what day you go by? Is that
official 29 of April.
29th of April. Okay. And then when you came in this country?
Huh? I married Jack Miller.
I know, but when did you come in this country?
May 3. I think it was May 3.
Okay.
1959. Me and Cathy,
But
because Miller went ahead of me.
Before that,
What?
we move out to Olivet.
Oh, yes, my parents bought a prefab house in Olivet, which is about, 5 miles from the Orléans.
Across the river.
Across the
Yes,
river.
across the river de Loire. And, well, nothing much to say.
Yeah, tell the story about the refrigerator.
Oh. Oh, we did not have any refrigerator in those days. So Jack Miller bought a refrigerator from one of his buddies who was going back to the US, and he bring it to our house.
Mom didn't
Thanks to that, my mom, nobody could touch that refrigerator because it was like an idol.
But she didn't want it at first.
But at first she said, no, we don't need that. But when she had it, he insisted that it was coming. And when she had it, that refrigerator was like an idol. She wouldn't go without.
What did Jack say when he was going to leave back, when you guys come back in the United States? He told Mom that he was going to take it back with him.
She said anything but that.
Take my daughter. Can leave the refrigerator?
Anything but that. That refrigerator was... Huh?
What about, do you remember the...
He also bring a dog with us to live with us. Charbon.
Charbon.
It
That
was
was
a
my
black
that was my first dog.
a black cocker spaniel.
Mm-hmm.
And Maman used to give him, because Charbon was supposed to be treated like a member of the family, she would put coffee with cream and sugar, and that was his drink in the morning with us. And also, if she didn't put butter on the bread, he would eat. He had to have bread and butter on it.
He was a hunting dog. He used to go out.
And when Jack Miller left for the US before me, it became my brother's dog completely. And that dog was something else. He will come, he will run into the ditch and everything, run after porcupine. And he will come home, he had porcupine needle all over his nose. And Mom will sit and pick everyone out of it. And the next day he go back again.
Didn't learn very well, huh?
No, he didn't learn very well. He liked to chase, whatever.
What about our dad? Our dad never had a motorized vehicle until when?
A mobilette. It was a bicycle with a little motor.
Yeah. I said, our dad never drove a car.
No, never drove a car.
Neither his mom did.
Never Mom either.
But so tell us about that Christmas when you bought him a mobilette.
Oh, yes. We all got together and bought him a mobilette.
No, not we, because I didn't have any money then. So
Yes,
that was
but
you.
it still was come from all of us. And we bought him that bicycle with a little motor on it to go to work. And all what we give him is 2 or 3 little boxes into each other with a key. And he sure was wondering what was the key was for. And so we went and get that bicycle with the little motor for that, and he said, he's never going to work on that. He's never going to use it. He can't. He don't know how. So Jack Miller went around with a billet, and I guess you too. And since that day, he went to work with that mobilette. Back and forth, come back from lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even had Miller even had Dad deliver porno to his buddy. What's true?
Don't go into that, please.
What?
Oh, I wish sometime.
So what else you have in France?
It's it.
Oh, I remember about your singing at the house, and you and the whole block.
That was when I was younger again, when I was about 18. We all, the window was open in the summer and everybody was singing. We start at one stair and they had 4 floors in that house. And all with kids of my age. And everybody will sing. We open the window and we start in the bottom and we go and go. Everybody was singing.
But the one above us, wasn't he, Pignal, wasn't he an opera singer? Professional?
No, but he was as good as one. He was not a
He
professional.
wasn't a professional? But I remember he could sing.
Mm. That man could sing, yes. Yes, he should.
So there was basically where we live in Orleans, there was like at least 2 or 3 brocanteurs, which mean like people selling junk and stuff like that. So that's how you got involved in a garage sale and junk stuff. That's where you got started.
No, I don't
No?
know if it is what gave me an idea, but I did like Maurice Desbois very much because he was an old guy and I always go and look in his big garage with lots of window what he had because I always liked junk. So one time he had 3 pictures. He had bought that on the attic of a castle or something like that. And I told him, I said, oh, I would like to have those. And he didn't like me, so he said, okay, take them, but don't say nothing to my wife, because she will want them. And it's what I brought to the United States, those 3 pictures.
Yeah.
And luckily I cut them to fit the trunk. And I kind of damaged their value by doing that. But
What about what did you do before when we still live in Kauai, before you got married?
I bought a sewing machine.
Oh, you did buy a sewing
old-fashioned
machine.
sewing machine.
Oh yeah, but I
A
forgot.
treadle sewing machine.
You still got it?
No,
Oh,
no.
I thought about it
No,
with you.
no, no. And I learned how to make clothes by myself. A pattern and make clothes. And I make even clothes for my mom. I remember I made a winter coat for my mom.
Well, I
I learned how to do all that and cross the couple times I went to see a lady cross our walkway and she was a seamstress, so she gave me a couple of tips. And I really learned to sew by myself.
Fifine?
Yes, and I learned how to knit and I learned how to crochet. Yeah, la mère cornichon.
Did you used to help me with my homework?
Oh, that was later on too. We are talking. A minute ago you were talking when you were about 2 years old. Now we're going to go back to when we were much older.
No, about 12. I was really old then. 10.
Yeah, but I was 28 by that time, or 26, 27, 28. And I had lots of patience in those days, principally when it come to calculus. You didn't want to do your work, so I always explain you how to do it and how to come on that. But no, at the end, finally, I put the whole thing, you copy just what I did. I don't know when I was doing your homework.
what kind of car Miller had when he was in France?
He had a Simca, and he had a, it was a, what, not a Jaguar. Yes, it was a Jaguar.
No.
And he also had,
MGA.
yeah, but he also had a Jaguar for very little.
I just remember the MGA. I think that's when I got my love for MGA from him.
Uh-huh. And he's on the Simca that he broke my rib because he slid off the road on an icy grass and out it went and I broke 2 ribs. In those days we didn't have any seatbelt.
What about did you make a trip from Orleans to Normandy on your bicycle?
Oh, that's, you go back again, way back.
Well,
I did with my best friend Jacqueline La Sécheresse. She was my age, she played sport with me. So we went to Normandy on our bicycle. But I don't mean a motor bicycle, a pedal bicycle.
not a racing bike either. A regular old Schwinn,
Regular-
like an old Schwinn bicycle.
A regular old bike, and we went. Took us 3 days.
It's about what, about 120 miles from
Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I know it took us 3 days to go together.
Mm-hmm.
But we stopped and we admired castle and stuff like that. But at that time I was young. I had strength on my leg.
Yeah.
Can we stop now?
So how did you come to this country? What you took a plane?
No. I took the boat. One friend of Jack Miller took me to take the boat at Le Havre. The name was Liberté. And I came to that ship with Cathy in one arm and a sewing machine, my new portable sewing machine on the other hand.
Yeah, Cathy was born in France, wasn't she?
Cathy was born in France. My oldest daughter was born over there. So we came on the Liberté.
Yeah. I remember it was what? At the time I was about 12 years old.
Yes.
And I used to change her diaper and put her on the little cart, wrap her up on the blanket and put her on my bicycle on the little cart and take her around for a ride, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was back in those days, including the dog.
Yeah. And how did we take the train? Because I remember going with you to Le Havre to say goodbye.
No, a friend of Jack Miller, like I said,
Oh, it
before,
took us
to
to-
Le Havre
Took us to?
with Mom.
Oh, I was there too because I was on the boat.
Yeah, with
I
Mom.
almost left.
And
I
when
almost left with you because they were putting the plank off and I was still on the boat.
So, and he drove you back home
Yeah.
with Mom.
How long it took you to get here?
6 days.
6 days. Wow.
And we had a big storm on the way. I don't know if it is Nova Scotia or something like that. We had a huge storm. I thought we were going to drown. That, oh my God, I wish you see the wave go over. We were not allowed to go any place on the boat. We had to stay where we were in the cabin. And when we went and eat, the plate will slide off the table. Everything will move the way the direction the wave was going, and we were going down. I thought when we go down, you could feel every move.
Mm.
But we made it.
Did you land in New York? Or?
In New York, it's the first time I see the Statue of Liberté, because we passed next to it.
You saw Ellis Island, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I did. The statue.
Then from there, Miller was there waiting for you.
Yes.
And where did you go from there?
First he took us in an eternity to go through costume and stuff like that. And he had a car. I don't remember what kind of car he had. But anyway, we passed, the first thing, we passed over the Washington Bridge. And we had to pay. Oh, that crucified me. I keep on saying, how in the world do we come to a country where everything is supposedly to be free and magnificent and we have to pay for a bridge? So we crossed that bridge and we went, he was stationed in Georgia. So he drove part of the way and I drove part of the way. And I remember one time at night, I was driving and I tried to wake him up to tell him what's going on in the sky. All those lights flashing back and forth, flashing like little teeny bitty light. So he said, oh, that's only lightning bug, and he went back to sleep. is where I met for the first time. We don't have lighting bug in France. Now, and we went to Georgia.
What fort was he stationed at? Remember?
I have to think.
No.
For Benin.
It was in Fort Benning.
For Benin.
No, that's where I was. Fort Benning.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
He was in Fort Benning, and or the town we were the closest town was. Oh, I forgot the name of it. It was not Atlanta. Maybe it was Atlanta. No. Anyway, he was stationed at Fort Benning.
Hmm.
And the first thing when I came, he wanted to wash the sheets, so he put them in the bathtub with soap and water, I guess. And the water drained out, so I went, after we were in the house, I figured, I'm gonna clean that sheet, and I left on that sheet. My God, it was full of black water bug. Oh, I still running. That's it. And another time, the stupid things. We don't have in France wasp. We got wasp, but they don't have long leg. And in South, they got those legs are that long. And one time I got stuck in the bedroom because I could see through the window of the other room that they had 2 or 3 bee flying, or bee or wasp, whatever it was, with long leg. That was it. Thank heaven we didn't stay too long in Georgia. I think 3 months.
Then what?
Then we went to Dubuque. No, I want to stop.
He was out?
I'm tired. I want
Okay.
to stop. I want to lay down.
All right.